Hey everybody, welcome to another skincare tidbit video. Yes, we're talking about face shaving today. You read that correctly. So while I'm no longer a practicing esthetician where I see clients on a daily basis, obviously I'm still very immersed in the industry, always catching up on latest technologies and modalities. And I've really noticed a lot of very expensive in-home use devices being sold with the claim of a myriad of skin benefits such as brightening the complexion, skin resurfacing, that to me look suspiciously an awful lot like glorified facial hair removal devices. You guys know I just like to keep things real with you and just sort of sift through all the marketing propaganda. And as someone who has shaved her face for 10 years plus, and many of my fellow estheticians do the same, it's just kind of no big deal. I do recognize the sheer horror in the faces of people who aren't so much in the industry that I tell that I shave my face. And it's totally understandable. It's kind of a taboo thing, right? I mean, when you say shaving one's face, you kind of conjure up images of Paul Bunyan standing in front of a mirror, one leg propped up, just shaving off this super dense man beard. It's just not something you really think of women doing. So let's open our minds a bit today and talk about facial hair. It's actually called vellus hair. We all have it. We all have it all over our bodies. On the face, it's usually concentrated from this lower half down, sort of the sideburns down. You might know it just as your peach fuzz, your baby fine wispy hairs. Most of the time, they're just really light. Don't bother anybody a lot of the time. Sometimes you don't even notice them. Good for you. You're very lucky if you don't. I myself am a little denser on the vellus hair spectrum. And as someone who uses a lot of skincare products, I like thicker serums and thicker SPF. And if I don't have my little vellus hairs in check, sometimes the products can get caught up in the hair and they just ball up and I don't like it. So I just shave them off. It's fantastic. Your upper lip and eyebrow, by the way, are not vellus hair. So if you are someone who gets those waxed, continue to do so. You don't want to shave those. But yeah, there's even really expensive professional treatments that you can pay well over $100 to go get from a dermatologist or an esthetician, where they take a legit scalpel and scalpel off all your vellus hairs and say things like, oh, we're removing all the epidermal dead skin cells and we're going to help with... They're shaving your face. That's all they're doing. You know what else is going to remove all those dead skin cells and give you the smoothest, softest skin you've ever had? This right here. This is it. And I don't even buy the pink ones. I just steal these from my husband because, if we're going to Paul Bunyan this shit, might as well fully commit, right? So you want to be sure that you shave your face with some sort of buffer on it. So if you've got a creamy type cleanser, foaming cleanser, whatever, use that. No special other directions needed. You don't need shaving cream. You just put something on a buffer and you do literally 3 swipes this way, 1 down for good measure, and 3 swipes this way, 1 down for good measure. 30 seconds, you're done. Now, if your vellus hairs go down a little further or up a little higher, shave those too. It doesn't matter. No, who cares? I will say that if you have darker vellus hairs, sometimes you're born with these, sometimes they come up later in life through medications or hormonal fluctuations. If they're darker or coarser, you're probably a better candidate for waxing, simply because, as we know, when you wax, you remove the hair from the root, and when the hair regrows in its natural form, the tip is very tapered. It grows in a tapered-like manner. So the tip is very fine, and your regrowth is just a little softer when the hair is coarser. This doesn't apply to the fine, wispy vellus hairs, okay? So if your hair is a little coarser, probably wax. Also, let's just kill these myths once and for all that your hair grows back thicker, denser, darker, coarser when you shave it. Not true. This is simply an illusion that it looks like it's denser when it's coarse hair, because essentially you're blunting off the hair at the surface of the skin when you shave it. You're squaring it off, in other words. So it just appears thicker, but it really isn't. And this doesn't even apply to vellus hairs, so let's not even think about that, okay? And there are also some skin types that probably should not shave their faces, okay? Just because compromised skin can result in adverse reactions. So if you have cystic acne anywhere on your face, I don't care if it's even on your forehead, don't shave your face, okay? If you've got sensitivity issues associated with rosacea, eczema, broken capillaries, ruddiness, any kind of sensitivities, don't shave your face. Just went to Cancun and have a gnarly sunburn, do not shave. Today or tomorrow is your chemical peel day. probably don't want to shave. You know what I'm saying? So compromised skin will result in almost like a rug burn looking effect, and it will also kind of form some pustules, which is not sexy, so don't do it. But for everybody else whose skin is normal, balanced, unbroken, shaving is simply nothing more than just a mild form of exfoliation. Men do it every day, okay? So stop shaving yourself over your facial hair. Don't be embarrassed to shave it. You're gonna have the smoothest, softest, most supple skin ever. Your makeup's gonna go on like butter, and you're gonna love it, okay? So go shave your face. I'll talk to you next time.